Hi besties, and welcome back to episode 3 on Tiny 2. If you missed the first episode, I will link it up above if you prefer to watch in order. But for episode 3, we're actually kind of a few days in. You can see my house is upgraded. I haven't been playing every day, and I also haven't been reliably filming every single time I play on the island, so you'll notice a few little minor changes. I'm going to try to film every time, but I really want this island to be one that I can kind of play laying in bed if I want to, or laying on the couch if I want to. So there will probably be a little bit of gameplay that I don't share with you guys, but I'm slowly kind of figuring out what dailies I want to do every day. I've definitely been trying to hit all of my rocks so that I can get all of those materials. Part of this island is that I won't be visiting any treasure islands, so that means that I can't get bulk materials. I have to really just kind of farm them every day and try to get them myself. So I'm trying to be extremely careful and dig the little holes behind my character so that I can make sure that I'm getting every single bit of material from that rock every day that I possibly can. One of the other dailies that I'm doing is trying to get all of my Nook Mile Plus redemptions every day, or at least 5 of them. And I just wanted to say thank you so much to Grumpy Old Man for giving me a super good tip. If you want to pause and read this comment, I really appreciate these types of tips because I haven't really given Animal Crossing like a really detailed playthrough. I tend to skip through a lot of these parts and then use treasure islands to get materials and items, and then just focus only on decorating. So actually taking it really slow and trying to organically kind of achieve everything has been a very different style of gameplay than what I'm used to, and it's been a whole new challenge for me, which I'm super excited about. I have been trying to say hello to all of the villagers every day because we do get Nook Mile Plus redemptions for that. And then this was my very first time visiting Nook's Cranny, so of course I got Mabel's little cutscene here. I cannot wait to get Able Sisters on the island. I'm so excited for that. I have been trying to be a little bit choosy about what items I purchase since I am pretty limited on money, but I thought the hammock was really cute and it's an item I can see myself using in the future, so I went ahead and picked that up. And then I checked out some of the other things that are available in the shop. I did end up buying every single DIY little pack thing that they have in Nook's Cranny. I felt like that was a pretty good investment because I obviously will be making a lot of DIYs on this island. So I skipped over that footage because it does get a little bit tedious. But just so you know, I got every single one of those. And then I continued doing my dailies, and we're going to head to, I think, Resident Services to see what Tom Nook has for us today. If you're at the beginning of your game and you're struggling to progress to 3 stars and you're wondering what you're doing wrong, my biggest advice for you would just be to talk to Tom Nook every day and ask him what should I be doing, and he tends to be pretty clear about what tasks you're going to need to complete to progress the early gameplay. So I do try to come in here every day and just see what he has in store for me. Today he wanted me to make a bridge, and I did end up doing that, but I didn't film where I placed the bridge, but you'll see in the next day kind of where it's at. I did end up buying the pretty good tools recipes as well, just because I am going to be gathering a lot of materials on this island, and the fact that my tools are breaking constantly is driving me a little bit bonkers. So even though I used pretty much all of my Nook Miles for that, I feel like it was very worth it. I don't regret that whatsoever, and because we're going to be grinding a lot more for Nook Miles, I feel like I'm going to earn them back pretty quickly. I'm trying to do a little bit of bug catching and fishing and creature diving every day and selling most of these things to the museum for now, just so that I can continue to get money. I think eventually, once I get a good amount of money, I'll start donating to the museum, as one of my goals on this island is to complete the museum. I've actually never done this on any of my Animal Crossing islands, and I feel like that is long overdue. I will say my goals overall for this island are to have a 5-star island, which I don't think I've actually ever achieved on any of my other islands. So I do want to get a 5-star island. I'd like to complete the museum, and I'd like to be able to redeem every single Nook Mile reward in the game, which that that could probably take a while. Here we are on the next day though. You can see I did a little bit of decorating in my house and I think it's looking so cute. I spent so much time last night laying in bed, going and farming materials and then crafting all these DIYs and customizing them, and I just feel like it is so much more satisfying to make your space a little bit cuter when you've actually grinded to create all of the items yourself in the game versus just going and cheating and getting them from treasure islands. So yeah, I'm really enjoying how it's looking. I also decided to use the green furniture, which I pretty much never use, and I think it looks really, really, really cute. And then I go and visit Piper. If you remember from, I think, episode 2, we did see Piper on a treasure island, and I invited her pretty early onto the island. I don't know what it is about her, but I am just so obsessed with the way that her beak moves when she's talking. I think it looks really funny. And I was so excited because she actually taught me how to make a foxtail, which I think is so cute. A little foxtail for Foxgrove. It's kind of a sleigh. And then I went over here to visit Clay. Clay has such an interesting looking house. He had just moved onto the island today. I don't know if I like him or not. I feel like his face is just a little bit spooky. And then we also had Tia move on to the island on a previous day, and I just really love her. Honestly, except for Clay, maybe, I think that all of the villagers on the island so far are looking so cute and we're getting so lucky. I'm getting very excited to see who the campsite villager is. I really have absolutely no idea who we're going to get. I have no guesses yet, but I feel like I'm getting so lucky. I'm hopeful that we can kind of continue the luck. And then I went into Nook's Cranny, and there really wasn't a whole lot of things in here that I was feeling excited about. I feel like the movie projector is always really good for creating like a little outdoor movie area, so I went ahead and picked that up. And then I have been checking every day to see if there's any good wallpaper or flooring. There really wasn't anything that was calling my name today, so I just left, and now you can see where I've placed the bridge. I feel like this was just the most convenient location to be able to get to the other parts of the island. I've also been collecting my fruit every day to sell, so that's what I was doing there. And then I completely forgot that Mabel was actually visiting the island today, so of course I had to talk to her. I used to think that you had to buy one of every single item that she was selling in order to meet like a certain dollar amount for her to move onto the island, and I recently learned that that's not the case. You actually just only have to purchase one thing from her every time she visits, and after 2 times, the 3rd time she will ask to move on to your island. So if you maybe heard that, I don't know where I heard that from, maybe Reddit or something, but yeah, I am very excited to not have to spend all of my money on her things. But I did go ahead and pick out the skull t-shirt and the corduroy pants because I feel like those were so cute, and I don't have a lot of clothing right now, so yeah, I feel like that was kind of a good find. Anytime I find any cute clothes, I'm gonna have to pick them up because any custom designs that I get on this playthrough, I'm gonna have to make on my own. And I don't know about y'all, but I am really not good at making custom designs, so I'm going to be relying heavily on the in-game clothes. And then I had quite a few fossils from running around the island, so then I headed in here to talk to Blathers. I'm going to spare you all of the painful dialogue, but I ended up donating everything I could, and we only needed 3 more items to be able to upgrade the museum. So yeah, I don't think that I'm going to end up finishing the museum today, but we are very, very close. I'm really not in too big of a hurry to upgrade it. Flo decided to do a little contribution to the island. She gave us a utility pole, which is good because part of what's going to get us to 3 stars is having a certain amount of Nook Mile items. So I am going to need as many of those as I can get, and I don't want to have to use all of my Nook Miles for it. I have also been selling a lot of stuff via the like shipping box thing outside of Nook's Cranny because I kind of like to see what my total is for the day. I do want to say I do know that they do take a cut if you sell through the box, so I am taking a little bit of a pay cut by doing it like that, but a lot of times I'm playing later in the evening, so Nook's Cranny can sometimes be closed at the time, so I've just kind of gotten used to doing it out of sheer laziness. Then I did a little bit more fishing. You could see that that went super, super well, and then did a bunch of material farming. I also noticed that all of the fruit in our orchard had grown in today, which is super exciting. So I went ahead and harvested all of those fruits and then went to Nook's Cranny to sell them all. There isn't really a reason why I want to keep them. I guess eventually I'll be able to make the fruit basket, but I'm not really like I don't have that DIY right now. And by the time I get the DIY, I'll be able to get the fruit at another time. So for now, this is just kind of a little bit of money farming for me. I did end up moving that orange tree. If you noticed, it was in the wrong spot. I had to fix that. So that's why I have some trees in my inventory. And then I immediately came over here to sell as much as I possibly could. And I feel like you get kind of a decent amount by selling all of those different fruits. So yeah, I went ahead and did that. And of course, sold the shells as well. And then kind of continued on doing the rest of my dailies, trying to get as many Nook miles as possible. We started off at the beginning of this day with like 1,000 Nook miles. So you can see how much grinding I've done. I feel actually pretty proud of myself for how many I've managed to get in one day, which is pretty cool. But I think that's going to pretty much wrap up episode 3 on Tiny 2. If you are enjoying this series, don't forget to like and subscribe. I will say most of the people who watch are not subscribed, so please, it's a really easy way that you can support me and support the channel. But thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!